video I show you how to work in UML diagrams using a free tool. This tool is it's a plugin in Eclipse. So for open an Eclipse, okay. Now the tool is called Papyrus. You can download it from the internet. It's an open source. Eclipse. You can just search for Papyrus Eclipse. Okay. This tool is adopted by Ericsson. So it's basically a simple tool, and there is a lot of features in this tool. Let me just go to the download. There is a link for that. Give me a sec. So this is a download. So this is where you can download Papyrus as a plugin in Eclipse. So there are different type of versions of Eclipse. Like the latest one is called Oxygen, and there is Neon, then Mars. So I have Oxygen version. So all what you need to do is to copy the version, the link, and you go to the Eclipse, then help, install a new software, and you add it. So you can take, say, Papyrus, call it Papyrus, and you download the link, Control V. So you press OK. I already did that. So once you press OK, you can see it here. So this I have it here, Papyrus. Okay. So when you click on that, you just select Papyrus. You'll see these are the plugins for Papyrus, and you'll see that you can select them all. Select all. Press next, and there is a link for me. I already have installed that, so probably I will not see the same result because I already have it. Anyway, what you need to do is to press OK. OK, then there is you accept the terms, and it's immediately is going to download Papyrus. So let's see how it's gonna work. Once you download the Papyrus, and you can go and say project and select Papyrus as a project. Next. So there's different options for Papyrus. You can have UML, and you probably can have the profile of UML. There's different type of profiles, and also you can have select different type of architecture viewpoints like software analysis or software design. Let's just keep it the same, and let's say we need to do a registration system. All right, so this is the name of the project, and if we press next, here is a list of the diagrams you can do. You can select multiple diagrams at the same time. You can have activity diagrams or class diagram, or even some behavior diagrams like sequence diagram. See deployment diagram. Let's try right now the class diagram and press finish. All right. So now the project is created. So if we click here, we see that this is the editor and this is the panel or palette where we have different type of nodes or elements of UML diagram for the class diagram, and these are the edges. So in order to start, first of all we need to select a model. So this is our model. Let me just make it bigger. The model is like a container where you put all the component or the elements of your diagram on it. We call it the registration system. Sys. It's called Sys. Okay, so I need to build here a registration system for a university. So this is the name. If you see that in the properties view for the model, you can have you can write comments, type the comments, you can see add the profile, or even you can change the style. Probably you can even the appearance. You can change the appearance, you can change the background of the model, or you can change the font size. Even you can add a ruler, or let's say we can add a ruler. See if you see. So there's different features in Papyrus, and the advanced here actually it's the properties in detail, more details, where you can add the URI, or you can define different type of properties there. Anyway, so let's get back. Here we have a registration system. We can add different packages in the model. We mainly have right now two packages, one called E package and eCore package. In these two, you can add them in order to define different kind of data types or object data types. But anyway, in this we don't need it right now. Let's just keep it like this. So now we have a model called registration system. So let's begin our model by first of all we add a class. And this class, let's call it university. Here I need to build a class, the class diagram for a university registration system. So we have a class called university, and we have another class for faculty. All right. Now in the university class, we see the properties, but before we do that, let's actually do something else. Let's put them in a package. We have a component called package. So give me a sec. It's kind of confusing. This is a package. We can put our classes in different packages. For example, the faculty, we can put it here in that package, and then we can drag and move it, and it will stay in the package. We can have another package for the university class. We move it here. As for package, we can call it, we can name it as edu.university. So this is the package, and we can call the package of the faculty edu education faculty. All right. Now let's work on the university class. Let's add two properties for the university. We can drag and drop property, first property and second property. So we have two properties, and if you click on the property view of the class, university class, we see that we have two owned attributes, property 1 and property 2. So let's edit property 1. Let's call it university ID. And if you notice that we can define, there's different features actually here. So we can define it as a derived properties, or we can make it ordered properties or static, different things. We can have it as the visibility, change it. We can make it private properties, and multiplicity, we can be one or many, or 0 to many. The aggregation here doesn't have a meaning. Can be read only or derived union. Anyway, for the properties we don't need all these specification. All what we need is just the type. So we can define a type. We can define the type from different type of packages. One is from we call it ecore variables. There's a big list of ecore variables, data types, or we can divide them from the e data type, or the default data type, where it's primitive. The data type here is primitive type. So in our case, it's called as an integer. Find the university ID, and in the second control we can define default value. So we can define a duration, or an instance value, or interval, or expression, anything we want. So let's say you can define the university ID as 100 as a default value. All right. So see. So this is, now we have a university class with a university ID, and that it's a type of integer. Same thing, we can apply it here. If we double click on, we need to get back to the, if we double click on the property here, we can say university name, for example, and can make it as private. The type can be defined as string. Okay. All right. So now we have a class diagram with two properties. If you look in the properties of the university class, see, the class can be defined as an abstract or non-abstract. It can be defined as active or not active. There is also a box for the, as I mentioned, owned attribute. There's another box for the owned properties. Let me just make it bigger. So owned operations. Oh, here you have owned receptions, like the ports. You can define it here if you have ports. Okay. I noticed that there is a bug here in Papyrus. Basically, the properties can be dragged and dropped from the palette, and there's another option where you can define it from here by clicking this one, and you can define property, and you can call it, let's call it the university domain, and the university domain is also private. Let's make it private, and the type is string, or string. Okay, but if you notice that the domain, inverse domain, appears here on the properties view, but it doesn't show up on the diagram, and this is one of the bugs I found. So let me just delete it. So the only option right now is, in order to create a property or an attribute for a class, is to drag it and drop it from the palette to the diagram. Alright, we can also have operations. Let's drag it and drop it here. We can have operation 1 and operation 2, two operations. If we click on the first operation, operation is the method. You can say we can have a method called, or function called, print details, where we print the detail, the property details. Okay. We can define getters and setters in these operations, but let me just delete the other property right now, the other operation right now. So click here, and if we click on the other operation, now we delete it, delete that one. So we have one operation right now, it's called print details. Let's go to the faculty class, which exists on the a package called edu.faculty, and let's drag the same properties for the faculty. So two properties and one operation, same thing. So if we go to the properties view of the faculty, we'll see we have two attributes. One, let's call it faculty ID, and it's private. And if we add the type as a integer, all right, and we can define the other properties. We can click here on edit, and we can call it faculty name, which is private, and of type is string. All right, this looks good as Papyrus. It's simple to use. There's a lot of details. Probably it's not needed for the modeler, but it's these attributes or features are a part of the eCore or EMF modeling language. It's eCore modeling framework, where Papyrus actually it's built on the top of EMF or eCore. Anyway, let's do the operation. So if we click, I don't see the operation. Let me just click here. Yeah, click here, and I see operation here. I need to change it, to change the name into print details. Same thing, details, and the operations is public. Just keep it like this. Here, if you need to have any parameters for the operations, right now we don't need to do anything. There is precondition and postcondition, and here's, you can define it as abstract or static operation. And I don't know if it's query, what does it mean? But anyway, there's many features, many things you can change, like concurrency. It's like sequential or guarded or concurrent. Really, I don't know what does this mean. But anyway, right now we have an operation called also print details of, and it's public. So we have now two classes one for the university class and one is called faculty class. Now, in order to define the relationship between the university class and faculty class, we need to have an edge between them or association. Now, any university can have many faculties. So the relationship between university and faculty, it's like one to many. Each university can have at least one faculty or many faculties. And also, the faculty must, in order to be existed, it has to be part of university. So we can't find any faculty that exists without being part of a university structure. So we need to build an association. It's called association directed, and we drag it and drop it from here to the faculty. Okay, so the university sees the faculties because these faculties are part of the university, while the faculty it's not necessary to be able to see the university. Okay, let's go here, and this is the properties of the association. See, this part is faculty, that side. It has one faculty and there is 0 to many, so we need to do some kind of changes. Let me just make it also higher level here. So the aggregation, it must be shared. We can have a composite. The composite, it's tightly coupled. So basically, the easiest, the loosely coupled one is called shared. See how it changed here. And the multiplicity, we can have a university, 0 to 1. So if we can have one university that has many faculties. On that side where the university, the other side here we have a university name. This is the one, and its association. If you want to make it navigatable, so you can do it this way. So basically we have two sides, but we don't want to have it navigatable in both way. And as for multiplicity, we can have one to many. Okay, so now if we look at the diagram, we see that we have a class diagram. For university, there's no, this is actually, it has to be corrected anyway. No, this has to be one to many. This has to be one to many, and this has to be at the university side. We can have it one only. Okay, so this is the faculty side where we have a shared association, and here we have it, and it's one to many. While on the other side we have the university, and we have only one university. So by this diagram, we are able to allow the university to see the faculties, but the faculty doesn't is not able to see the university class. All right. Now, the next step, we need to build the relationship between the university and the faculty. So we can add an operation within the university, and this operation will be called, just click here and it should be right there. Yeah, no, this print details, no need to the other one. This operation 5. All right, let's call it add faculty. Okay, so in this method we need to add faculties. So we can define it as, this is public. The body condition, I don't know what does it mean, but let me check. There's nothing in the body condition. If we click on plus, constraint, duration constraint, I don't know if there's, maybe it means that there is this may probably manage the performance of the method. And here we can add parameters for the method. So the first parameter, we need to call it faculty, and this faculty method parameter is an input, and it's public. We can define a default value, and the effect is like crude. It's create one. Here we need to define the type. The type is the data type of the faculty. It should be of type faculty. All right. Okay. So if we go back to the class diagram, now we have add faculty, and it has one parameters. It's of type faculty, an object of type faculty, and it's called faculty. It's an input. We can add another method for that. Let's call it, let's have a delete. Let's have a delete faculty. So we can, in the university, we can add faculty or delete faculty. Just click on the, give me a sec. All right, let's call it delete faculty. All right. It's again public. We can add parameters. If you see that, you can also add precondition and postcondition, but in our case we don't need to have any conditions. Here we can have another parameter called faculty, and this one of the effect of type delete, and the type here is, it's not primitive. We have to go to the registration system and go to the faculty. This is of type faculty. So the effect is delete, as you see, and the type of the parameters, it's faculty. All right. Now you can do as many as you want. Add more methods like update or read. But let's build another class. Let's call it, let's have a package first. Let's make this one bigger, the model diagram. All right. We have a package now called edu.university.department. Okay, so we have this package now. Here I need to change this one, edu.university. university dot faculty. Okay, we have another package. Now this package, we can have a class diagram, class called department. All right. And in this class we can have also two properties and one operation. Let's change them. So the first property would be department ID and its type private, protected private, and we can have type of, from the E package we can have it integer. Okay, anything else? No, that's it. As for the other property, we can call it same thing, department name. Make it private. No, it should be E package, I forgot. E package name, it's string. Okay, now it's done. So we have now two parameters or attributes. Let's define the operations. It's called print details, same thing. So print details and doesn't have parameters, and that's it. It's public. That's it. Same thing probably applies with the relationship between the department and the faculties. Each faculty probably has multiple departments. Okay, so we go to the edge and we can have situation. We will have it this way. Okay, so now let's correct the situation. Each faculty can have multiple departments, and the department can only be part of the faculty. So if we click on that, as of the department, we have money. All right, and the other one should be okay. So the faculty sees the department, and each faculty can have one or at least one or many departments. So this is the relationship between them. Now let's say we have different type of departments. Let's say for example, just correct that. Let's say for example we have a class for computer engineering department, computer eng. We can also have another class for electrical engineering department. And we can have another class for communication. department, communication engineering department. So we have a department, class department, which with the specialized classes for this department. So we need to have an association between them, where association called generalization, where communication engineering department is a special case of the department, and the electrical engineering department is a special case. Same thing here. We have a generalization. We can have it here. Okay. So the generalization relationship, it tells that the computer engineering department, computer engineering and electrical engineering and communication engineering, they are a special case, or from the department class, or the department is a general case for the three classes. We can do the same thing. We can define properties here, for example. Let's have one property here, two properties, three properties, and let's just make this bigger, the package. Okay, let's say we have a package property called number of students in the department, and this parameter is private and is of type integer. Let's say we can have also number of labs or number of instructors. So private and of type also as an integer. Let's say we have another parameters, call it number of labs. Private integer. All right. So we have now, let me just make it this one bigger. Okay, save it. See, we have now a model. In this package we have a department which has three departments: communication engineering, electrical engineering, and computer engineering. And in the communication engineering we have three properties. We can also have operations, and this operation is call it add student, for example. Anyway, so this is how the class diagram can be built. I use Papyrus simply because it's, first of all, a free modeling tool. It's simple to use. It's supported by a company, big company, it's Ericsson, and it's under Eclipse. Eclipse environment, it's one of the platforms, probably one of the best platforms for modeling and for development. And since it's an open source and easy to use. One of the things we can do also is to generate give me a sec. We can actually let me right click that one. We can export. Let me just check. Generate. There's something called generate, I guess. Generate with local history. No. Generate huge model. Export all diagrams. So you can export as PNG graphics or BMP or JPG, and if you export as PDF, it will appear here in the project. If you double click on the project, we will see the PDF format. So it's really simple, and probably there's some bugs on the tool, but the good thing about the tool is it allows you to model different kind of UML diagrams. In this video, I should just show you the class diagram. In the next videos, I'll probably introduce other modeling language diagrams like sequence diagram, activity diagrams, and deployment diagrams, and the rest. And also, I will reflect the code. I build the code from the diagrams I built here. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.